Summertime is winding down, and before you know it, class will be back in session. And if you're part of Richland One, there's a new sheriff in town. Back on July 1st, the school district welcomed their newest superintendent, Dr. Todd Walker. Joining me now is Dr. Walker. Dr. Walker, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Friendy. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Definitely. And of course, you know, when you hear, we always look at the suits. Take a look at the suit, fellas, and the bow tie. I mean, I like you already, Dr. Todd.
Okay,
look at that.
all right.
So where are you coming from, Dr. Walker?
So I've been in Columbus, Ohio the last 30 years. In Ohio most of my life. My parents live in Florida, so as I share with people, we got familiar with the area, doing some road trips. I don't know that people do those much anymore, but we did it when our kids were young, and this was our midway stopping point. And so fell in love with Columbia and the area, and so when the opportunity opened up to join in a role here that I felt like could contribute meaningfully, I was excited to be here.
Tell us about your educational background.
Sure. So I have 25 years. This is year 26 for me in education. I started off as a high school English teacher and taught high school English for 7 years. I was in a role as an instructional coach, so I was working with teachers and equipping and empowering teachers in professional learning communities. Moved from that into a role as an assistant principal. In the midst of that, I got a PhD in policy, education policy and leadership. And then I was a high school principal for 4 years. And then subsequent to that, I was a director of a pre-K through 12 campus. And in the midst of that, I got a Juris Doctorate, so I'm also a lawyer, so both PhD and a JD. But I love education. I love the work of being able to empower students, empower staff, and equip our students for the future and make sure that they're ready for all of the opportunities that will present to them.
Wow. So talk about being a triple threat. You have a PhD, you have a Juris Doctorate, and you also have experience in other realms in education, so you understand what it means to be a superintendent.
Yes, I mean, this is my first superintendency, but I was in a senior level role in my previous district and have had rich mentorship and experiences and really understand the pre-K through 12 pipeline from cradle to career. And so I've had experience with students as early as birth. We had programming that reached out to parents in the hospital to get kids exposed to literacy early on, into early college and beyond. And I really say college, career, or military. I mean, because students may choose multiple pathways, but I've been fortunate to have experience and exposure in all of those spaces.
When did you realize, take us back to the moment that you realized, you know what, education is my calling. This is what I've been called to do.
You know, I've always, even as a child, I wanted to serve. I wanted to have a meaningful impact. I wasn't sure what that would be. My father started off as an executive for Sears, but ended up, out of a calling, worked 40 years as a pastor. My mother was a lifelong public school educator, started as a kindergarten teacher. She was in a public school administrator, elementary school principal, and then finished off in central office. And so I wasn't sure, when I got to college, it was interesting. I was working with some youth and wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do. And one of the young people that I was working with said, have you thought about teaching? And at that point for me, it was just like a light bulb that went off. And I've really never looked back. It's been the honor of a lifetime being able to invest in students and then invest in adults who work with students. Having that system-wide impact, I think, for me, is why it's part of my purpose, why I feel I exist.
Yeah, there's so much that's happening in education nowadays. What's your vision for Richland School District 1?
So my vision for the district is to have a district that is effective, and effectiveness means how we work together. And really, I believe that student results change when adult behaviors change, and adult behaviors change when leadership behaviors change, because leaders are responsible for shaping culture. And culture is just the way that we do things around here. So my focus is on how do we work together effectively as adults in the system so that students can have the optimal outcomes and experiences.
Understandable there. So one of the things too, graduation rates. That's a big for not just school district, for parents. Parents want to make sure that their kids are being taught what they're supposed to be taught so that they can graduate. So what are the plans as it comes to making sure that our numbers are where they need to be?
So we've had some tremendous gains in graduation, but I think, we have to inspect what we expect. And so mine is all about systems, processes, and structures, and how are we monitoring. And we have to start in the 9th grade. And so really looking at how students are performing the first semester of their 9th grade year, because what we know from research is that if students are successful in their 9th grade year, their chances of graduation are exponentially increased. If they're unsuccessful in their 9th grade year, their chances of graduation are exponentially decreased. And so we want to make sure that we maximize opportunity, not just in the senior year or in the junior year, but also in the freshman year and the sophomore year. And having processes that are monitoring all the way through will help us to increase those rates.
Many parents are concerned about the erasure of history.
Sure.
Some parents are concerned about certain books being banned. Other parents are also concerned about indoctrination.
Sure.
So everyone has their own particular perspective of it.
Yeah.
What would you do to make sure that the students at Richland One are global leaders, not just leaders in America, but globally?
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to cultivate multiple perspectives. I think we are a nation of diverse people. We're a nation of immigrants. We're a nation of folks that have come to this country from a myriad of different places and spaces and times. And so I think a recognition of that and what those contributions have been to American life is part of the American story. And so for me, I think that is something that's already in our curriculum. I don't think it's something that we need to add to it. I think it's just how we go about facilitating the curriculum and ensuring that the stories that are told are stories that are representative of all of our students. Sure.
So what are some things that you're looking at, hitting the ground running, we're going to focus on this?
Well, I think the first thing for me is just appreciation and assessment. That's really my first 90 days. We're going to have a meet and greet that's happening on August the 7th from 6 to 7:30. That will be at C.A. Johnson, little public service announcement.
There you go, Dr. Walker. Yeah.
But I think, beyond that, I think we can't prepare students for the jobs of tomorrow with the practices of yesterday. And so you look a little younger than me, but high school and even middle school and elementary school should not be the same experience for students today that it was 30 years ago, or even necessarily 15 years ago. And so thinking about how do we do high school redesign? How do we have an integrated experience for students that includes partnerships with higher education and workforce that equips students for the jobs of tomorrow? We have in this region several industries that are coming that are really sort of future focused. And so I think making sure that all students in the region are prepared to take advantage of those opportunities is something that's going to be important for us as we move forward.
And finally, your message to parents and students of Richland One.
Sure, stay engaged. My thing, as I've said to staff and to community as I've been engaging, is every voice matters. And I believe that from the smallest of voices comes the greatest of ideas. And so we want everyone to stay engaged in dialogue with us. We're going to be pushing out into the community. Where in the district is Dr. Walker? And so I'll be in different spaces and places in the community. If you come to the meet and greet, another announcement, they will have an opportunity to select where they'd like to see me. And I won't be able to be everywhere, but certainly we'll take recommendations from folks. And we're going to push out, and we want to make sure that we're hearing from folks and listening and using that as a way to build our vision, Richland One Vision 2030, which will be coming very soon.
Okay, well, Dr. Todd Walker, folks, you heard from him first, the Richland One's newest superintendent. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, and of course, some more information, visit our website at WACH.com.